All right, so I think at this point we've all seen the fallout for Bud Light after they contracted and be had Mulvaney come out as like the spokesperson, and quite controversial because Bud Light has always been a brand that's really just kind of been associated with, just rural America, college frat boys and all that stuff. And when they tapped into the Mulvaney, or what's the name, into this whole thing, it became a whole debacle, and it's really backfired on Bud Light. And since this all happened, we've been waiting to hear from Bud Light themselves. They got to do damage control. They're taking a beating on this whole thing. Essentially, the whole go woke, go broke kind of a thing is playing out for them right now. And so finally we have a letter, or an open letter from the CEO. I'm gonna read it to you here and talk about this. So, our responsibility to America. As the CEO of a company founded in America's heartland more than 165 years ago, I am responsible for ensuring every consumer feels proud of the beer we brew. We're honored to be part of the fabric of this country. Anheuser-Busch employs more than 18,000 people with our independent distributor, while our independent distributors employ an additional 47,000 valued colleagues. We have thousands of partners, millions of fans, and a proud history supporting our communities, military, first responders, sports fans, hardworking Americans everywhere. We've never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. My time serving this country taught me the importance of accountability and the values upon which America was founded: freedom, hard work, and respect for one another. As CEO of Anheuser-Busch, I am focused on building and protecting a remarkable history and heritage. I care deeply about this country, this company, our brands, and our partners. I spend much of my time traveling across America, listening to and learning from our customers, distributors, and others. Moving forward, I will continue to work tirelessly to bring great beers to consumers across our nation. Signed, whatever his name is. I just read to you essentially nothing. What the fuck was this point on this open letter that serves no purpose? You wasted everybody's time reading this bullshit that doesn't answer or speak to anything. There's no clear say on what position you're in. You just made this very generic statement, essentially, that we like our customers and our brand, blah, 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 blah. I'm moving forward. We're going to blah, 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 blah. You should have just said nothing. This doesn't help any side of the conversation, and they're in a bad spot because if you ditch Mulvaney now, you're gonna look like you hate trans people, and you caved into their audience. Like, let's be real, Bud Light is typically drinking, primarily their core audience are gonna be like older white men, right? Think of guys in the country, baseball fans, sports fans, colleges. That's just being honest. That's typically their demo. And these people tend to probably lean right politically. So when they got on board with Mulvaney for this whole thing, that's the core of where this fallout is happening, because it didn't align with their core consumer. And honestly, even for me, I'm like, that didn't make sense. Why would you're taking a Bud Light brand. It's such a well-established brand and has a very distinct identity and a consumer that drinks it. You completely just threw it for a loop just for the sake of what? Appearing inclusive? And they have so many other brands underneath they're all owned by one company that's in Amsterdam. I think it's InBev. They could have attached her to something else perhaps. But now they've put themselves in this terrible situation where they've alienated everyone. Literally, they've alienated everyone at this point. And the worst thing, the absolute worst thing they could have done is exactly this. Released an open letter that doesn't serve any purpose, that doesn't speak to any which side, that doesn't give a clear decision and how they're going to proceed moving forward. It was a bunch of jibber jabber, as Monica just said. What a waste. And they deserve everything that's coming to them. Now, what's interesting is that their CEO, what's his name? Whatever his name is, I don't know his name, but I do know that he was in the CIA. He's worked in government. It's interesting that he is the CEO of a beer company now, right? but that's where he's referencing about him serving his country. He served as a CIA agent and other capacities as well. How you know, they're talking about the marketing person for Bud Light, which is a woman. I forgot her name. She's the one that kind of came up with this idea to do it. They want to kind of move away from Bud Light being seen as a frat boy drink, and they want to expand. You know, first of all, people that drink beer, it's such a specific demo of people that drink beer. Not a, you know what I mean? Like, not a lot of women drink beer, by and large. Not a lot. I mean, women will. Some women do. But by and large, you don't have a lot of women, especially drinking Bud Light. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't understand the concept of take away that they got a trans woman as the spokesperson or whatever they did. Even if they brought in any woman, it still doesn't seem that it connects with their core demo for a brand. So it just seemed like she was trying to reach and expand and force an inclusivity that just isn't like part of their brand. I don't know. They just really made they fumbled this so bad. And what's worse is if he's the CEO, there's no way he did not know that she was going to pull this off. He had to have had cleared this. And if not, this is an even worse L for him, because now he has to deal with the fallout. And if you're the CEO, you're ultimately responsible for everything that happens. I'd find it hard to believe that the marketing, VP of marketing or whatever her name is, that was behind this decision to get Mulvaney, didn't consult and let him know, the CEO, that this is what they're going to do, this campaign. We're going to go inclusive and we're going to bring on Mulvaney in here. I've already talked about it in the other live stream. Here's my thing essentially with Mulvaney too, which I don't like, right? I have no problem with them getting, or let me say this. I don't have any problems with a trans person getting this kind of opportunity, right? My thing is Mulvaney just recently kind of transitioned and came out and you know identified as a woman fairly recently, and once she did, it was like the gates to everything opened up to her automatically, just by simply coming out and saying, I'm a trans woman now, and started dressing like as a woman and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, she's got the keys to the kingdom. That to me is fucking weird. When there's so many other women, hell, even if they got Laverne Cox, who's a very notable trans woman, we see her in Orange is the New Black. I think it's a good actress. How many other women or trans women have been putting in the work for years, grinding to get an opportunity to be the face of some kind of a campaign, and just the mere, you know, this person comes in and, oh yeah, guess what? I've transitioned, ta-da, and now they get these free opportunities. We saw it happen with Jenner. Was it Caitlyn? Yeah. When she transitioned, all of a sudden, all these opportunities just were thrown in her lap. It's almost like you don't even earn it. You just, because you made this change, you just gifted all this stuff. That to me is where I don't think that's right, because there's many other biological women and even trans women, like I said, Laverne Cox comes to mind, that have been on the scene, putting in work, that could have gotten this opportunity. But you know what I'm saying? That's where I think the shit doesn't make sense to me. It was just given freely. Just because they came out and transitioned. That's where I think this is part of the problem. Again, when there's so many other women that have been working and looking for this opportunity, and they get overlooked simply because another person comes out and transitions. Ta-da, look at me, guys. And oh yeah, okay, cool. Now we're gonna get you for all these campaigns. You're on every media round. You're a big hero. Like, what the fuck? That to me is the part that doesn't make sense. It's not about Mulvaney getting the opportunity. It's the fact that what did she do to warrant it? Let's be honest. What work did she do to warrant all of this? Just giving. Right? And it could be anybody. Just for merely coming out and identifying and based off of your gender and you making a change and you just get stuff freely, it's crazy to me. When there's so many other people that are out here trying to bust their ass to get these opportunities. That's to me where it doesn't make sense. And I have a problem with that. It's not that she's trans, anything like that. It doesn't bother me. That's fine. They should have opportunities too. Like I said, I've watched, I became a fan of Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Black. I was like, yo, I thought she played a great role and it's fine. I don't, you know what I mean? But it's crazy that people are getting shit just based off of not their merit, but based off of like their identity. That to me is like the problem. You know what I mean? It must be really tough to try and find other ways to say nothing and make sound warm and sincere. Yeah. This is by design. It's called earned media. They're getting all the free publicity. Usually you'll see all these people buying the product, destroy it. It's a win-win for them. I mean, fair point on earned media for sure. There's a lot of earned media, but this isn't kind of like going well for Bud Light. This is a big stain on their 165 year, legacy. This is something that's gonna be talked about for forever now. And they've certainly disenfranchised their core consumers. You know what I mean? And to think that by getting Mulvaney and having them run campaigns, that you're just going to automatically now, what are you expecting the trans community to by and large just start buying Bud Light? Are you expecting women to just by and large start drinking beer when most women don't drink beer? You see what I'm saying? Like, it didn't make sense from a marketing standpoint. It doesn't make sense. I think the marketing person, the woman, should get fired for this. She fumbled so bad. She fumbled so bad. I never heard her until the controversy started. Yeah, me either. Give me a cold Red Stripe beer. Yo, cold Red Stripe sounds fire right about now. Anything is better than Bud Light. It takes like 19 to feel a buzz. Oh, it takes like 19 to feel a buzz. It's very watered down. I mean, that's always been a thing about Bud Light. It tastes like water. I honestly don't even know how people still drink that shit. So maybe this is a good thing for Bud Light. Maybe they'll just retire the brand and bury it. 165 years is a long amount of time to be alive. Some things need to go into the grave. And maybe this is exactly what is needed to put this shitty beer in the grave. For real. For real. Dude, every company does it. Look at Nike. Here's the distinct difference with Nike, though. Nike inherently has a much younger, left-leaning consumer. Think about it. Nike selling kicks to teens, young kids, young adults. There's a whole community of sneakerheads. Like, a lot of Nike's community are people that are going to be left, like politically left, and they're going to be more accepting, generally speaking. Bud Light isn't, bro. We all know Bud Light demo. Let's keep it a buck. Bud Light demo, core consumer demo, are going to be white males, 25, 54, maybe even 35, 54 demo, right? That's essentially their core demographic. Every beer and liquor has a core demo, just like any other product and service, right? There's always a core demo. These individuals, white males in that age range, are not necessarily always going to be left-leaning politically. And so that's where there's that disconnect. Moon, I'd rather drink hot wine coolers. That's nasty. Billy Bob's and the Fams and drinking that no more. Y'all chill, man. So I say all of that to say that this was a waste of time to release this statement. And it backfired here. I mean, look at the comments. Awful statement. They could simply issue an apology and say that that from now on they are going to get out of politics and sell beers, but they seem to want to keep on lecturing. Yo, true. I keep saying this. Companies need to stop getting in the political realm. It's bad for business, and yet they still keep doing it. They need to be apolitical. Just sell your product and shut the fuck up and stay out of the politics. Don't get dragged into it. We make a product that just is for everyone. Use it or not. That's it. Stop trying to get all these different people from these different tribes and groups within our country, because when you do that, you start offending somebody else, and then all this happens. Just make a product or provide a service that's apolitical, and that's it. But all these companies have to keep on taking these political stances in what's going on in our country, and they get burnt by it. I don't understand why they keep doing it. Well, I do, and it's part of a deeper issue when you have like BlackRock. They got the thing called the ESI, I believe it is. There's a lot of let me get the term properly here, but like BlackRock is primarily the main culprit here, where they are activist investing, and they're forcing these companies to do a lot of these what would be deemed as like inclusive things, right? They're forcing them to do all this stuff. Maybe we watch a video on that next week to dive into that world of BlackRock. BlackRock is easily the biggest behind the scenes Geppetto holding the puppet strings on all these companies, if not entire country, with how much they have invested and how much control they have in all of these companies. You know what I mean? It's very interesting stuff. So if we want to, we could take a look at that next week. But this all ties in together. You know what I mean? BlackRock is pulling these strings and using their leverage in the ownership on these companies and they're sitting on these boards, and they're forcing these boards and the CEOs and these companies to do a lot of these inclusive initiatives and woke things. And, you know, and if these companies want to get investing in money, they got to do what they got to do.